What's up, everybody? It's Jason Cruz here once again with another episode of The Legal Submission. And this time we take a look at Gegard Mousasi as he has filed a lawsuit against the PFL for breach of contract. As we know, Mousasi was a Bellator champion, and he believes that he was, as the term goes, warehoused, shelved, not used by the promotion, and due to the fact that he was being paid handsomely for his services. Now, as we know, Mousasi was the Bellator middleweight champion before the promotion was purchased by the PFL. He did lose his championship to Johnny Eblen in June of 2022. He did not have another fight until May of 2023 when he fought and lost to Fabian Edwards. Mousasi claims he was injured during the fight, but he took it anyway because he was concerned with the fact that he would not get any more opportunities to fight. As we note, he had lost the title in June of 2022 and didn't get another fight for essentially 11 months. There are emails from Mousasi's manager, attempting to contact the new owners of Bellator, the PFL, Don Davis, in trying to get advocating, lobbying for Mousasi to be on one of these new PFL cards. And notably, the lawsuit was filed the same during fight week of the PFL's pay-per-view extravaganza that was held in the Middle East and was headlined by Francis Ngannou, and you may note that Mousasi's last two opponents, Fabian Edwards and Johnny Eblen, actually fought on the undercard of that pay-per-view bout, with Eblen taking the win in that particular fight. So it's interesting to note, according to the lawsuit, that Mousasi had signed an 8-fight deal with Bellator in 2017 after he had been let go by the UFC. He was paid a base of $150,000 per fight for his first 4 fights. His next 4 fights, he would be paid $200,000 with a $50,000 bonus for winning for KO or submission, plus a promotional fee for each such bout of $600,000. So after his 4th bout, Gegard was guaranteed to earn $800,000 with the opportunity to make $850,000, $50,000 for the promotion, for the stopping an opponent. But after his loss to Eblen in June of 2022, he wasn't given another fight until the Fabian Edwards fight. And he believes it is because of the step up in the contract that he had signed with Bellator. So meaning that he was going to start to be making he would start to be making $800,000 per bout. That was going to be his fee, win, lose, or draw. So he did not get a fight until the Fabian Edwards fight. And when he came to the PFL, it became obvious that either he was being frozen out of their plans, he wasn't in their plans, or they just didn't want to use him because he was an expensive fighter. Now, you could argue about Mousasi's style or whatnot, that it's not fan friendly, meaning there's not knockouts or things like that. But Mousasi was definitely a successful fighter, and up until the Eblen fight, he was undefeated, I believe. And he just wasn't getting opportunities. And after the Eblen loss, they kind of shelved him. No rematch, nothing of the part. And of course, the Bellator promotion was going through some financial issues, not financial issues, but they're going through some structural changes with the leadership, and PFL took over last year or this past year, and so that was the particular case. You could explain that away as far as why Mousasi was left off of the radar for fighters coming over from Bellator. But notwithstanding that, the fact of the matter is his contract he was not released from his contract, and they were not using him. It was inferred in the lawsuit that PFL would use him if he would renegotiate his deal, meaning, you're too expensive. You can fight again if you lower your rate. So instead of paying you $800,000, we could pay you less than that. That obviously, if you're Mousasi, you say, why would I do that if I have the contract to fight? So there's that. Now, despite the efforts by his agent, who tried to get those fights for Mousasi, it sounded like the PFL didn't want to utilize him. Now, PFL has not responded to this lawsuit, and obviously there's two sides to the story. So we'll see what PFL indicates with respect to dealing with Mousasi. Mousasi gave an interview in April of this past year, where he was interviewed by MMA Junkie, and he actually did maybe the media rounds. And specifically with MMA Junkie, he was upset with the situation that he was given, meaning that he was upset that PFL hadn't given him an opportunity to fight, and all the attempts by his agent were going for naught. They weren't responding to him, that sort of thing. So after the interview, he was given there was an email the same day of his his MMA fighting interview. He was given an MMA fighting interview, and they essentially said he had violated a terminus contract with respect to talking about the promotional agreement, and so they had terminated his contract. So even though even though there was fights owed to him, the contract was terminated. So Mousasi is suing in this lawsuit, I believe it was filed in California, for no less than $15 million, as well as punitive damages. So Mousasi's attorneys are also asking for a court ruling that the Bellator PFL are liable for antitrust violations. Here we are, we just talked about Lee versus Zuffa, and now we potentially have another antitrust case for holding a monopsony in the market of elite professional MMA fighter services. So here we are, a monopsony, seller's market, monopoly over the MMA fighter services. Now, it's interesting because Mousasi is being wronged here. It's easy to say that, well, he's not an exciting fighter. Well, when the PFL took over, they assumed all of the obligations of the prior organization, meaning they took over the contract. So could they have bought Mousasi out? Maybe, but it didn't sound like that's what they were entertaining, or it was not an amount that Mousasi was going to agree to. But they were stuck because he couldn't just go to another organization without breaching his fight contract, and that's was one of the reasons why we had the Lee versus Zuffa lawsuit. So we'll see what happens. So the lawsuit was filed on October 16th. We'll probably get something around mid-November response from Bellator, PFL. In some respect, we'll probably hear a motion to dismiss, which usually is custom in these types of lawsuits. But again, Mousasi's frustration has been boiling over. Mousasi's been not talking about this, but there have been rumors about Mousasi being unhappy for some time now, And if he was ready to go and fight, it's really hard to be sitting there in your prime of your life as a fighter and not being able and afforded the opportunities, as well as the opportunities to earn a living. So we'll see what happens. This is Jason Cruz for the Legal Submission. Have a good day.